Alrighty, wow, I am close to the camera. All right. Okie dokie. Well, welcome all ye cold people to the one, the only, the very chilly Junkshop Library channel. Home of, where's my goddamn, there it is. Improv Bible Study, the Atheist Bible Study, where we read, dissect, trash, and generally bash and eviscerate the King James Version of 1611 because it's the one in the public domain. From a modern, atheist, humanist standpoint. Because it's an outdated piece of garbage. Sorry, y'all. Hate to break it to you. Okie dokie. Well, let us see. It has been a minute since we last gathered here, has it not? It's been a whole goddamn day. Hang on. This seemed like a good idea at the time, but it appears to be eating all my bandwidth. So I'm going to close that. Had the stream open on my this thing, phone, so that I could watch the chat. But then the chat crashed, and then the stream crashed, and hopefully I will. I'm still on the air. I see my little connectivity icon. Says I'm unstable, so I'm probably junk shopping just a little bit, but y'all are used to that by now. Diary of Lydia, how are you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Did you ever find your bag? Was it in the refrigerator? Did you even look in the refrigerator? Why have friends if you can't give them crap, right? All right, well, the announcements I have today for y'all is that I have nothing in the way of announcements because I have no idea what the future may bring. It's starting to look like the office may be open again tomorrow, except we're supposed to get more unpleasant precipitation tomorrow. So I have literally no idea from day to day whether I'll be going or whether I'll be staying. Regardless of that, I got to go out this afternoon and crank over the car to make sure it will start when I need it to. Yes, because it's been sitting in the same damn place in this fucking sub-zero temperature for 2 days. That ain't good. Still haven't found it. Actually did look in the freezer and the fridge. You're a trip. I'm so glad I found your channel. All right, so all of which is to say, I don't know if I'm going to be streaming tomorrow or not going to be streaming again until Saturday. I want a special thank you shout out those handful of y'all who dropped by to watch me talk about my fish for about 3 minutes earlier today. That was kind of fun. A little random, something a little off the wall, something a little different than what we usually do here on the channel. So yeah, as the wise man once said, as for me, all I know is that I know nothing It's up here. It's right up here. I knew there was something I forgot. Did y'all know? Some of y'all knew. Yeah, you got 2 job interviews coming up, don't you? Hey, Geo Sam, what's going on? As some of y'all know, I've got official Junkshop library stationery. Some of y'all have seen that in person. I found it in the move, along with my business cards. If you would like to have a quick note written to you on the official Junkshop library stationery, just get in touch with me via a DM on one of the various platforms with a good mailing address for you, whether that's a post office box or a rock under a tree. I'll see what I can do. Harmonica Man, yes, hello, good to see you. Oh man, Lydia, I'm hanging in there. It is so damn cold here. I am not used to it. We are normally boiling hot summer people, and then we suffer through, maybe a couple of weeks when it gets down into the 30s in the depths of winter. It's colder here right now than it is in Anchorage, Alaska, and I don't like it. So, of course, I've decided to complain about it on the internet for the last 3 fucking days, and that always makes a huge difference. Wins friends and influences people. Hey, Greg, good to see you. Man, everybody's here. Yeah, used to the cold. Yeah. I'm in the South. Yeah, you couldn't tell. Oh, that's the downstairs door. Okay. Sorry, I heard an unfamiliar noise for a minute, and I was like, oh my God, it's the pipes. The pipes done exploded. What is the actual temperature where I am sitting? I haven't the foggiest, but it's 15 Fahrenheit outside. Yeah, true enough, friend. People can move. People's elderly parents can't necessarily, though. And that's all I will say on that score. All right, so far and away and far enough. I suppose it's time. I stalled as long as I can. I don't have any other announcements. I'm lying. I have one other announcement. One other announcements. I got to thank my patrons. They're here in the description. Not the description, the banner, the crawler. What is wrong with me today? Frozen brain is what's wrong with me today. That and the fact that I've been drinking coffee since 5 o'clock this fucking morning. And these here in the crawler are the people who support and make possible this infinite professionalism you see rampant before you today. These people have stuck with me through thick and through thin. Some of them through thicker and some of them through thinner than others, but that's just a matter of time. You hang out in the library very long and you'll see some thick and you'll see some thin. If nothing else, there's always Mental Health Thursdays, which I will be finding a way to return to the schedule, even if I have to do it in the middle of the fucking night. It's always Thursday somewhere, right? In a special and particular, y'all know I gotta shout out the members of my top 2 tiers on Patreon. My illuminated there she went. Let me try that again. My illuminated manuscript, Captain Kimothy. I'm going to get tired of playing with this this game with the border one of these days, y'all, but it apparently hasn't happened yet. And my genuine calfskin patrons, Bill, and infamous atheist activist Paul Kamich, my very first patron. These folks as I say, have gone well above and far beyond in their support of the channel. It means the absolute world to me, and I thank y'all from the absolute bottom of my peculiar little heart. Thank you. We'll return to the all-inclusive crawler. I see Amiga Nuts is throwing all the links into the chat. Thank you, my friend, for always staying on top of the shilling responsibilities. All right. We done put this off as long as we can, hadn't we? It's time to venture into the bowels of Holy Writ. The Lamentations. Jesus Christ, look at the... Y'all can probably even read that on the camera. The Lamentations of Jeremiah. You know, that is going to be what YouTube picks for my my suggested thumbnail. It's just me with Lamentations. All right. Let's see what old Jerry... I guess he is old Jerry by this time, isn't he? He's not young Jerry anymore. Much like my eyes, he is not as young as he used to be and probably requires a little bit of assistance, all which is to say, where, oh, where are my mother fucking... no, that's a corkscrew. That won't help me. Not right now, it won't. It may later. Got another corkscrew. We got nail polish. We got business cards. We got... Wait, y'all know me. I've got like 6 pair of reading glasses. Where are all my fucking reading glasses done going to? I don't want to have to squint at this page, but I'm about to run out of ways to stall long enough to... Oh, dear. All right. I'm going to have to hold it real... There they are. Thank be to Akhenaten. I don't know. Okay. Lamentations of Jeremiah. That may be the longest I've ever gotten through a video. We're 12 minutes in and I haven't read a verse yet. This is fucking ridiculous. Chapter 1. How doth the city sit solitary that was full of people? How is she become as a widow, she that was great among the nations, and princess among the provinces? How is she become tributary? She weepeth sore in the night, and her tears are on her cheeks. Among all her lovers she hath none to comfort her. All her friends have dealt treacherously with her. They are become her enemies. Judah is gone into captivity because of affliction and because of great servitude. She dwelleth among the heathen. She findeth no rest. All her persecutors overtook her between the straits. The ways of Zion do mourn, because none come to the solemn feasts. All her gates are desolate. Her priests sigh. Her virgins are afflicted, and she is in bitterness. Her adversaries are the chief. Her enemies prosper. For the Lord hath afflicted her for the multitude of her transgressions. Her children are gone into captivity before the enemy. And from the daughter of Zion all her beauty is departed. Her princes are become like harts that find no pasture, and they are gone without strength before the pursuer. Jerusalem remembered in the days of her affliction and of her miseries all her pleasant things that she had in the days of old. When her people fell into the hand of the enemy, and none did help her, the adversaries saw her and did mock at her Sabbaths. Jerusalem hath grievously sinned, therefore she is removed. All that honored her despise her, because they have seen her nakedness. Yea, she sigheth and turneth backward. Her filthiness is in her skirts. She remembereth not her last end. Therefore she came down wonderfully. She had no comforter. O Lord, behold my affliction, for the enemy hath magnified himself. The adversary hath spread out his hand upon all her pleasant things, for she hath seen that the heathen entered into her sanctuary, whom thou didst command that they should not enter into thy congregation. All her people sigh, they seek bread. They have given their pleasant things for meat to relieve the soul. See, O Lord, and consider, for I am become vile. Is it nothing to you, all ye that pass by? Behold, and see if there be any sorrow like my sorrow, which is done unto me, wherewith the Lord hath afflicted me in the day of his fierce anger. From above hath he sent fire into my bones, and it prevaileth against them. He hath spread a net for my feet. He hath turned me back. He hath made me desolate and faint all the day. The yoke of my transgressions is bound by his hand. They are wreathed and come up upon my neck. He hath made my strength to fall. The Lord hath delivered me into their hands, from whom I am not able to rise up. The Lord hath trodden under foot all my mighty men in the midst of me. He hath called an assembly against me to crush my young men. The Lord hath trodden the virgin, the daughter of Judah, as in a winepress. For these things I weep. Mine eye runneth down with water, because the Comforter that should relieve my soul is far from me. My children are desolate, because the enemy prevailed. Zion spreadeth forth her hands, and there is none to comfort her. The Lord hath commanded concerning Jacob that his adversaries should be round about him. Jerusalem is as a menstruous woman among them. And the Lord is righteous, for I have rebelled against his commandment. Hear, I pray you, all people, and behold my sorrow. My virgins and my young men are gone into captivity. I called for my lovers, but they deceived me. My priests and mine elders gave up the ghost in the city, while they sought their meat to relieve their souls. Behold, O Lord, for I am in distress. My bowels are troubled. My heart is turned within me, for I have grievously rebelled. Abroad the sword bereaveth. At home there is as death. They have heard that I sigh. There is none to comfort me. All mine enemies have heard of my trouble. They are glad that thou hast done it. Thou wilt bring the day that thou hast called, and they shall be like unto me. Let all their wickedness come before thee, and do unto them as thou hast done unto me for all my transgressions. For my sighs are many, and my heart is faint. Wow. That was yeah, not just a little bit toxic was that. Whole hog or nothing, Jeremiah. In the last chapter, he was talking about being filled up with young men as with caterpillars. Now he's bewailing being like a menstruous woman. Presumably that means that he feels unclean because of his great transgressions. And he's speaking here upon behalf of all the people of Jerusalem. Yeah, do unto others, PJ's got it, do unto others before they do it unto me. Yeah. And he spends the bulk of the first chapter bemoaning how bad he's got it and how desolate is Jerusalem. And then he turns around at the end. Nice little Shyamalan twist right there. You never saw that coming. God, who hath afflicted me so sore, smite mine enemies. I don't know what fucking motivation God has to smite Israel's enemies at this point. Because Israel keeps turning their back. They will not do as they are told. And back in Jeremiah, the eternal book of Jeremiah, wherein we have spent the last calendar quarter laboring together in the salt mines of the book of the prophet Jeremiah. God said he was going to preserve a few of Israel. He was going to gather up some of the surrounding countries and call them the new Israel, bring them back to Jerusalem someday, after at least 70 years had gone, after everybody who had done the actual sinning was dead. And he said that he was going to smite the smiters. Remember from yesterday? He was going to bring a great fucking cavalcade of nations out of the north to smite Babylon. Further north than Babylon, because Babylon came out of the north. Because if you remember, that was the direction the magic stew pot was facing the day God decided to bring this word unto the prophet Jeremiah. From even further north than that, he was going to bring more and more great nations to smite the smiters. And it's not happening soon enough for Jeremiah. Nowhere near fucking soon enough. Chapter 2. I do want to, before we progress to chapter 2, I do want to thank y'all for being here. I know this is the worst time of day to go live, especially on Tuesday. Everybody's live right now. So I do especially appreciate all y'all who have chosen me above other gods, as it were. That was weird. I won't do it again. Chapter 2. How hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel, and remembered not his footstool in the day of his anger. The Lord hath swallowed up all the habitations of Jacob, and hath not pitied. He hath thrown down in his wrath the strongholds of the daughter of Judah. He hath brought them down to the ground. He hath polluted the kingdom, and the princes thereof. He hath cut off in his fierce anger all the horn of Israel. He hath drawn back his right hand from before the enemy, and he burned against Jacob like a flaming fire, which devoureth round about. He hath bent his bow like an enemy. He stood with his right hand as an adversary, and slew all that were pleasant to the eye in the tabernacle of the daughter of Zion. He poured out his fury like fire. And the Lord was as an enemy. He hath swallowed up Israel. He hath swallowed up all her palaces. He hath destroyed his strongholds, and hath increased in the daughter of Judah mourning and lamentation. And he hath violently taken away his tabernacle, as if it were of a garden. He hath destroyed his places of the assembly. The Lord hath caused the solemn feasts and Sabbaths to be forgotten in Zion, and hath despised in the indignation of his anger the king and the priest. The Lord hath cast off his altar. He hath abhorred his sanctuary. He hath given up into the hand of the enemy the walls of her palaces. They have made a noise in the house of the Lord, as in the day of a solemn feast. The Lord hath purposed to destroy the wall of the daughter of Zion. He hath stretched out a line. He hath not withdrawn his hand from destroying. Therefore he made the rampart and the wall to lament, and they languished together. Her gates were sunk into the ground. He hath destroyed and broken her bars. Her king and her princes are among the Gentiles. The law is no more. Her prophets also find no vision from the Lord. The elders of the daughter of Zion sit upon the ground and keep silence. They have cast up dust upon their heads. They have girded themselves with sackcloth. The virgins of Jerusalem hang down their heads to the ground. Mine eyes do fail with tears. My bowels are troubled. My liver is poured upon the earth for the destruction of the daughter of my people, because the children and the sucklings swoon in the streets of the city. They say to their mothers, "Where is corn and wine?" When they swooned, as the wounded, in the streets of the city, when their soul was poured out into their mother's bosom. What thing shall I take to witness for thee? What thing shall I liken to thee, O daughter of Jerusalem? What shall I equal to thee, that I may comfort thee, O virgin daughter of Zion? For thy breach is great like the sea. Who can heal thee? Thy prophets have seen vain and foolish things for thee, and they have not discovered thine iniquity, to turn away thy captivity, but have seen for thee false burdens and causes of banishment. All that pass by clap their hands at thee. They hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, "Is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth?" All thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash the teeth. They say, "We have swallowed her up. Certainly this is the day that we looked for. We have found, we have seen it. The Lord hath done that which he had devised. He hath fulfilled his word that he had commanded in the days of old. He hath thrown down and hath not pitied. And he hath caused thine enemy to rejoice over thee. He hath set up the horn of thine adversaries. Their heart cried unto the Lord, O wall of the daughter of Zion. Let tears run down like a river day and night. Give thyself no rest. Let not the apple of thine eye cease. Arise, cry out in the night. In the beginning of the watches, pour out thine heart like water before the face of the Lord. Lift up thy hands toward him for the life of thy young children that faint for hunger in the top of every street. Behold, O Lord, and consider to whom thou hast done this. Shall the women eat their fruit, and children of a span long? Shall the priest and the prophet be slain in the sanctuary of the Lord? The young and the old lie on the ground in the streets. My virgins and my young men are fallen by the sword. Thou hast slain them in the day of thine anger. Thou hast killed and not pitied. Thou hast called as in a solemn day my terrors round about, so that in the day of the Lord's anger none escaped nor remained. Those that I have swaddled and brought up hath mine enemy consumed. And there we have the second chapter of the Lamentations of Jeremiah. All right. Well, more of the same, ain't it? It's just God saying, or not Jehovah, not Jerusalem, but Jeremiah. I can speak the words, I promise. It's just Jeremiah saying how bad Israel and Judah and Jerusalem in particular got smote. They got powerful bad smote, y'all. Walls knocked down, kings and priests carried away off into the Gentile country. No food left in all of Jerusalem. Women reduced to eating children of a span in length. That's a span. It's bad up in here. Bad time in Jerusalem. Don't want it. You don't want none of this. Could have been prevented. Could have been prevented. Didn't have to get smoked. All you had to do is do what you were told. Didn't have to get smoked. All you got to do is behave right, like God tells you. God won't smite you like you deserve if you don't do nothing to deserve getting smoked. Just absolutely goddamn fuck off to the ends of the earth with everybody who thinks and talks like that. I've known too many people who thought exactly the same way, and their partners not happy. It's one of the passages, Mark, one of the passages where the idea of atheists eating babies came from. Although, in fairness, this is a passage not about atheists eating babies, but about the faithful eating babies, or at least such as are faithful, or such as can be counted to be among the faithful in this time when all of the people have gone astray, and that's why they got their ass beat. Like Brainbug says, that's abuser talk. Anybody who says this God character is just, merciful, loving, and righteous, I want you to look long and hard at the relationships in which they enter into, wherein they are required to be just, merciful, loving, and righteous. Somewhere in that dynamic, somebody might need some help. And I'm not even kidding. Chapter 3. I am the man that hath seen affliction by the rod of his wrath. He hath led me and brought me into darkness, but not into light. Surely against me is he turned. He turneth his hand against me all the day. My flesh and my skin hath he made old. He hath broken my bones. He hath builded against me, and compassed me with gall and travail. He hath set me in dark places, as they that be dead of old. He hath hedged me about, that I cannot get out. He hath made my chain heavy. Also, when I cry and shout, he shutteth out my prayer. He hath enclosed my ways with hewn stone. He hath made my paths crooked. He was unto me as a bear lying in wait, and as a lion in secret places. He hath turned aside my ways, and pulled me in pieces. He hath made me desolate. He hath bent his bow, and set me as a mark for the arrow. He hath caused the arrows of his quiver to enter into my reins. I was a derision to all my people, and their song all the day. He hath filled me with bitterness. He hath made me drunken with wormwood. He hath also broken my teeth with gravel stones. He hath covered me with ashes. And thou hast removed my soul far off from peace. I forgat prosperity. And I said, my strength and my hope is perished from the Lord. Remembering mine affliction and my misery, the wormwood and the gall, my soul hath them still in remembrance, and is humbled in me. This I recall to my mind. Therefore have I hope. It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, saith my soul. Therefore will I hope in him. The Lord is good unto them that wait for him, to the soul that seeketh him. It is good that a man should both hope and quietly wait for the salvation of the Lord. It is good for man that he bear the yoke in his youth. He sitteth alone and keepeth silence, because he hath borne it upon him. He putteth his mouth in the dust. If so be there may be hope. He hath given his cheek to him that smiteth him. He is filled full with reproach. For the Lord will not cast off forever. But though he cause grief, yet will he have compassion, according to the multitude of his mercies. For he doth not afflict willingly, nor grieve the children of men, to crush under his feet all the prisoners of the earth, to turn aside the right of a man before the face of the Most High, to subvert a man in his cause, the Lord approveth not. Who is he that saith, and it cometh to pass, when the Lord commandeth it not? Out of the mouth of the Most High proceedeth not evil and good? Wherefore doth a living man complain, a man, for the punishment of his sins? Let us search and try our ways, and turn again to the Lord. Let us lift up our heart with our hands unto God in the heavens. We have transgressed, and have rebelled. Thou hast not pardoned. Thou hast covered with anger, and persecuted us. Thou hast slain, thou hast not pitied. Thou hast covered thyself with a cloud, that our prayer should not pass through. Thou hast made us as the offscouring and refuse in the midst of the people. All our enemies have opened their mouths against us. Fear and a snare is come upon us, desolation and destruction. Mine eye runneth down with rivers of water for the destruction of the daughter of my people. Mine eye trickleth down and ceaseth not, without any intermission, till the Lord look down and behold from heaven. Mine eye affecteth mine heart, because of all the daughters of my city. Mine enemies chased me sore, like a bird, without cause. They have cut off my life in the dungeon, and cast a stone upon me. Waters flowed over mine head. Then I said, I am cut off. I called upon thy name, O Lord, out of the low dungeon. Thou hast heard my voice. Hide not thine ear at my breathing, at my cry. Thou drewest near in the day that I called upon thee. Thou saidst, fear not. O Lord, thou hast pleaded the causes of my soul. Thou hast redeemed my life. O Lord, thou hast seen my wrong. Judge thou my cause. Thou hast seen all their vengeance and all their imaginations against me. Thou hast heard their reproach, O Lord, and all their imaginations against me. The lips of those that rose up against me, and their device against me all the day. Behold, their sitting down and their rising up. I am their music. Render unto them a recompense, O Lord, according to the work of their hands. Give them sorrow of heart, thy curse unto them. Persecute and destroy them in anger from under the heavens of the Lord. Okay. Well, can you fucking believe this shit? All right. Listen, y'all. I've been talking how toxic this shit is for more than 2 fucking years now. And I try to point it out every time this particular doctrine crops up. But it tends to crop up in little fitchy snatches. We've had the bulk of those 3 chapters and the entirety of chapter fucking 3, except for the very, very, very last couple of verses at the end. Oh, y'all pardon me. All my everything is messed up by the weather. I'm so sorry for all of the charming noises I'm making. But this is worse than Job. Job, when the "you fucked up and that's why your life is shit" argument comes at us time and time and time and time and time and time and motherfucking time again in the book of Job, who does it come from? It comes from those 3 shitty friends that are the only people who will I can't even fucking talk. Still deal with, oh shit.
It's really cold outside.
It's really cold outside.
I can't feel my toes.
I don't doubt it. You should take a shower with the hot water.
Do we have hot water? Because we don't downstairs.
We don't downstairs, but we do in the bathroom.
Holy fucking Luya. Sorry, guys.
We have been smoked with an absence of hot water in the bathroom, and not in the bathroom, in the kitchen downstairs, because our new property owners didn't cap the exterior faucets.
Yeah. Give a fuck.
Despite the fact that it's like 2 fucking degrees outside overnight, so that's a whole nother rant. I'm in the middle of a rant right now. Junkshop, crank. Junkshop, rant. Thank you, sweetness.
You're welcome. Snow's really pretty, though.
Oh, it's pretty.
I'm totally cat bombing your stream.
Pretty, all right.
Yeah, it's really deep. My feet never went through all of it.
Shit.
Yeah, and I'm not super light. It was amazing.
All right. So. The 3 shitty friends in Job, right? The three shitty friends in Job. Sounds like a rejected draft of a Gilbert and Sullivan song. That's where you get the terribly, terribly, blindingly toxic. You fucked up. That's why your life is miserable. Everything that happens is bad. You're gonna everything that happens bad to you, rather, is your own fucking fault. It comes from people. It comes from his nagging ass wife and his shitty ass friends and his crap ass neighbors. When God finally rolls up into the scene in Job, what does he say? So don't try to figure out why shit happens. Sometimes shit just happens, bitch. And sometimes it happens because I want them to. And sometimes it happens when I don't want them to. Get over yourself. This ain't all about you. Leave me alone with your bitching and moaning, says God. But here, in the Lamentations of Jeremiah, what do we have? We have young Jerry, who is now old Jerry, or at least feels like old Jerry, which means he's probably somewhere north of about 25, when your knees start showing all of the unkindnesses you did to him when you were, 6 months younger. I'm unanimous in this. Anyway, Jeremiah, what does he say? Everything that happens, and I speak unto you now as a prophet of God Most High, the only one remaining. It's your own fucking fault, stupid. You wouldn't have got all smoked and bespoiled and reduced to cannibalism in the streets if you hadn't just... You should have just done... Just do the prayers. Do the sacrifices. That's all God wants. But no. And that's why your life is shit now. That's the only reason the massive armies of Babylon and Chaldea were able to overthrow your shitty little desert fortress. It's the only fucking reason. Not because the Babylonian/Chaldean army was sweeping like a tsunami across the entire world at the time, carrying the detritus of every civilization they encountered back to Babylon as they swept back out to sea. It's your fault. Got a disease? It's judgment for your sin. Hungry? Can't find any food? You didn't pray enough. Things happening to you that old Junkshop ain't going to go into a lot of detail about. But you notice the gender of a lot of this language in this book. Some of the euphemisms. You were asking for it. This is the philosophy that this book wants us to adopt. Well, I'm not doing it. And I would encourage you to say the same. Because, y'all, this is some bullshit. I only hit you. Thank you, Brenda. I only hit you because you didn't listen. You didn't do what you were told. Fuck this Yahweh character. Who has use for this? If this were a human character, Lisbeth Salander would be after him with brass knuckles and a cattle prod in a Larson novel. Nobody has any use. This is the kind of abusive sadist that only exists in fiction to give action heroes someone to really go bananas on at the climax. Fuck this guy. It's about as much Yahweh as I can take today, and we're coming up on the top of the hour anyway. I want to send special thanks to my wonderful wife, Julie, who went and braved the blizzard to go hunt the great red wine for us.
On foot.
On foot. Uphill. In the snow. Both ways.
Some of those things are true.
And I want to thank y'all for coming and hanging out with me today, for putting up with yet more of this stupid fucking book. I want to say a special thanks to the little cadre of people who have hung out with me twice today. Talking about the fish was a lot more fun. May have to start doing more fish videos to compensate. Lamentations keeps going on down this route. No aneurysm today.
Okay.
No aneurysm today. Special thank you again to my patrons for keeping us streaming and afloat during such an interesting time. Cheers to y'all. And thanks to all the new people. And we're streaming in. I see those old videos being watched, and then the subscribe numbers tick up a couple of days later. Welcome, y'all. So glad you decided to join us. So we're going to roll out of here. But, as we always say before we do, everybody take care. Everybody be safe. Stay warm. And stay safe. And stand against hate. And And Paul, assuming I'm available that day, I'd be absolutely honored. We'll see y'all around. Bye now.